what are your key takeaways? And we should inform our viewers that a potential deal, a more than $1 trillion stimulus package that we thought was coming together, there was going to be a procedural vote. At this point, it seems as though no deal tonight against the backdrop of this.
That is absolutely my biggest takeaway. Over the weekend, I've been speaking to business leaders, banking executives who said it sounds like things are getting closer and closer. They're in close contact with Secretary Mnuchin. But the fact that no deal happened tonight, that's devastating for individuals, small and big businesses alike. So let's start with individuals. The president said right there how much he cares about the American people. This is obviously not their fault, and they'll be getting checks. We've heard the proposal from the White House, $1,200 to people who make up to $75,000. But without a deal, they're not going to be getting that. As far as small businesses goes, they have extended small business loans to include even more businesses, a bigger number. But think about the logistics. These are loans. They're not grants. We're 1 week away from credit cards being due, from rent having to be paid. Small businesses are any businesses with 500 people or less. So yes, there's more availability for loans, but we don't know what are getting passed or the logistics to get any of this money to those companies.
I have to wonder, what exactly are they disagreeing on that they can't get this thing done? Markets wanted this and they wanted it yesterday.
They wanted it yesterday or last week. You know, it's really a philosophical disagreement between Republicans and Democrats, with Democrats saying that the massive stimulus package put forth by Republicans was focused solely on the corporate sector, on economic bailouts for big companies, whereas Democrats want more focus on how to help actual people, unemployment payments and debt forgiveness and certain other things, which they say was in the package as written on Saturday night and then was taken out. So that's where the rift, and it seems to be quite a big rift, seems to have happened, because we heard nothing but really upbeat comments this morning from the Treasury Secretary, even from McConnell himself, and from Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate yesterday. So that seems to be where the fault line is. President Trump now says he'll work with Nancy Pelosi on her stimulus bill, and we don't quite know what the next steps are. But, you know, I can imagine that many lawmakers will hear some pretty angry calls from their constituents overnight. People are so worried in the country now about their finances and about their jobs, and want to see a bit of bipartisanship out of Congress. So this is just going to exacerbate that, I think.
So we know there's going to be a lot of public pushback around these quote-unquote corporate bailouts because they're not across the board for industries. It's for select industries. And one of the things we heard from Democratic lawmakers today, there's not enough details in what these bailout packages will be. And one of the gripes in 2008 where banks were bailed out and it worked out for executives and stock buybacks happened, but it didn't trickle down. Now, the president mentioned he didn't want to see stock buybacks, but again, we just don't know the details. And the fact that we don't have details and no deal signed, that means no money's going through. Not yet.